You know what I tend to think when they name these episodes? Like, how can we completely confuse our audience and make it really hard for reviewers? This is the review of Star Trek Lower Decks, Season 4, Episode 5, Empathological Fallacies. Now, this was a really fun episode to watch. And I'm saying that knowing full well that it's very similar to last week in that there's not a lot of back Starfleet references. Well, there is, but it's not the same way as always. I'm Trek Trav. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into the review. So the episode goes straight into the title sequence. We are following T'Lyn this week. And it was actually really good because I was having trouble remembering her name. But I really enjoyed the kind of Data's Day motif of her talking about her being on the ship and serving and how hard it is. We find out that 3 Betazoid ambassadors that come aboard. They're all party animals. They're all kind of like Lwaxana Troi, but a little bit more alcohol-y. They sort of flirt with everyone and they get sort of boisterous and a bit wacky. And it's a really fun, the 3 characters are really hilarious. They want to have a party. They get taken to sick bay so they can get hangovers, drugs and stuff like that. Captain Freeman gets flirted with and is like, I've got a husband. And one of the Betazoids is pretty much like, where is he now? There was some really great bits in this episode. The Betazoids have a party and everyone starts acting really, really weird. And we assume that it's the Betazoids causing this, which it turns out later on, spoilers, it isn't. We get some really great scenes with T'Lyn sort of navigating the oddness of the crew. Mariner and her seem to be bonding really, really well. In terms of like their characters bounce off each other. The actress who plays T'Lyn obviously has nailed that nativeness, and the character drawing with the constantly sort of half-opened eyes really sort of gives it that sort of dryness of, say, like a Garfield or even like a Tuvok, like constantly sort of half-drawn eyes. T'Lyn gets really frustrated because she can't send a message to her old Vulcan ship, and we see the tension, we see her tapping her fingers. And as the crew's getting weirder, we assume that it's the Betazoids. And actually it turns out to be T'Lyn. And Mariner sort of forces her to sort of admit that it's been really difficult for her to adjust. She was reprimanded for being on the Cerrito. She thinks of it as a punishment. Mariner turns around and goes, well, you saved their asses. What's the logic in getting rid of you if you save their lives? And T'Lyn sort of agrees, and talking it out with Mariner sort of makes her relax, and then she doesn't transmit her emotions. It's a sort of a play on, because in the Betazoid episode, Betazoids, we know Lwaxana went through a thing where she transferred her emotions. Vulcans had the same thing in the episode Sarek. Sarek is transmitting his emotions to other crew members. And sort of having them both there, and sort of even the little nod that they're both sort of very similar things. The Betazoid women are played really to perfection in this episode. And I actually had a really good laugh in this episode, and it takes a lot to get me to the out loud laugh. But yeah, it was definitely another great episode. I think not relying on the nostalgia means that Lower Decks can shine in its own right. Particularly like Boimler going to security and seeing them do tarot and puzzles and poems, and then flipping that on its head. And I really love what Shax said, which is security is about protecting the crew. That's physically and that's also emotion. And I've actually never looked at it that way before, like that security would protect the crew in that way. And they talk about how they're there for him, and Rutherford had said that he's been under a lot of pressure trying to achieve these things. it's a really sort of sweet moments between Shax and Boimler. I love that he calls him Baby Bear. I really enjoyed every relationship. Tendi being a bit sort of, I need you to be my friend, I need you to be my friend. Rutherford being just the sweetest guy, just going on, like, really concerned about Boimler. And it sounds weird, but I really enjoy the fact that the characters are mixing, but sort of getting more girl stories and more boy stories in that the last few seasons very much put Boimler and Mariner together. And I think this season, breaking that up a little bit to allow for brand new stories really helped. So the Betazoids on this ship turn out to be Betazoid Secret Service, and they get offended because they've been accused of making the ship go crazy. And it's really fun. They take over the ship. They're going to go back to Betazoid, but they have to go through the Romulan Star Empire. Security kicks it up a gear, and Boimler gets to watch them sort of kick ass. The Betazoids and the captain are sort of joking around, and it's really, really clever. Security comes in, takes back the bridge, and they manage to avoid Romulan space. And the bit that made me laugh out loud is as soon as they turn away, our Romulan ship decloaks, and they go, "Oh, well, now what we're going to do?" Like, I'll put the clip up.
Okay, enough. Yeah, they didn't enter the neutral zone. What did you expect? Set a course for Sector 87. We'll lurk over there.
But it was really, really funny. That's the bit I laughed out loud at. Like, because it always seems like the Romulans are on that border. And they even like go, "Oh, we'll change course. We'll go here. We'll lurk." And I do like when Lower Deck sort of nails that satire and that little bit of wackiness to the show. Otherwise, my review is that this is a great episode. And I'm certainly enjoying this season now with the last couple of episodes far more than I enjoyed season 3. In terms of, I love the fact that the nostalgia's there, but it's peppered through. It's not blatantly hitting your head. What did you think about the episode? Make sure to write it in the comments. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and come back next week for Star Trek Lower Decks, the next episode. Earth Final Conflict on Sundays, Enterprise on Tuesdays. I've been Trek Trav. Have a great night. Thank you for following.
It's your favorite cocktail, but don't get all emotional about it.
Am I expressing emotion? Oh, you were joking.
Yeah.